Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome back to Dakar 18, the official video game of the 2018 Dakar Rally, where we are continuing on in rookie mode with Andrew Short of the Husqvarna Factory Racing Team for stage number 8, Uyuni to Tupiza in Bolivia. And if you haven't been keeping up with some of the live streams that I did a couple weeks ago, basically I totally messed up on my roadbook and wasn't realizing that there was speed checks at some locations and was blowing right through them. And yeah, it wasn't necessarily the best thing, and I lost a ton of time. So overall, my ranking is not good. I'm about an hour and 20 minutes behind Adrian Van Beveren in 12th and 7 hours off of the leader, Leia Sanz. But I have been making up time in the last two stages, and who knows, maybe everybody else has a ridiculous something or another happen to him. But we're going to figure out how well I can do on this stage. It's supposed to be 732 kilometers long, and it still is raining. Not as bad as it looked maybe in the last stage, which was very dark and gloomy. But who knows, maybe this stage is about to go into nighttime, and given that it's a rather long stage, it could be pretty challenging. So we're going to continue on stage number 8, Andrew Short. And here we go. The beginning here, I'm probably going to focus a little bit, try to remember everything I can about the road book and following the kilometers if I can. Probably going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, but I think I can make it work. Just going to follow some waypoints here and see if I can maybe also make up some time. Still going this way on the river. 6.97. Go over this guy. Supposed to keep going this way. Can't tell if I'm even in the riverbed anymore. I'm thinking I'm not. This is already going to be me having to turn around here. So let's go ahead and just head back. Because it looked like it was supposed to be staying in the riverbed, but then continuing straight onto a road. So I don't want to be completely off here and just skirt across the desert. So back to the riverbed. And I got to this point, which was over a rise, but then it seemed like, oh, maybe this road is where I'm supposed to be going. Yeah, that probably makes sense. So for those of you that haven't been really watching many of my live streams and seeing what's been going on, definitely got a lot of mixed reviews on the first look gameplay video I did on this game, and many people not too thrilled with the physics of the game, which I 100% agree with you guys. The physics are not necessarily the best thing. In speaking with some of the developers of the game and getting a little bit more in-depth analysis behind the scenes on it since I've done that video, I came to grips with a couple reasons why maybe the physics aren't the best on, overall. And really what they had to say was that they basically started from scratch with everything and built 5 different physics engines for all 5 different vehicles, which they claim to have been very tough. And then obviously the game itself is massive because the terrain and areas that you travel across are gigantic. Not as realistic as the kilometers suggest they are, but they're still huge nonetheless. So, I totally get where they're coming from. I still would probably rate this game about a 5 out of 10, which, again, maybe it's not the best game to pick up and purchase if you are not a super fan of Dakar racing or rally racing in general. But if you are and you want a true off-road motorsport navigation experience to feel kind of what these guys feel like when they're trying to navigate through the roadbook, this game does a hell of a job replicating stuff like that, because I mean, it really is truly some challenging stuff that these guys have to go through. And this game isn't easy. Like, even on rookie mode, I was having a tough time following the roadbook and understanding that I was going through speed zones and getting infractions because of that. I had to have a developer even tell me that that's what I was doing wrong. So definitely a challenging one. Certainly the physics are a little strange, but they've definitely worked on it. They've released a couple of patches. I can already tell just from playing this one that the physics of the motorcycle don't feel as loose and kind of free-flowing as they were, which When I first played it, honestly, it was, I don't want to say unplayable, but very difficult to wrap your head around how the motorcycle was going to be moving and what exactly it was going to be doing, because it liked to move around a lot on you. Yeah, it's supposed to be going this way up the river. But now that I've had a chance to play the game, you know, I'm 8 stages in, I feel like I've gotten a fair bit more comfortable with the game. I'm definitely coming around to the feeling of it and like it so far, honestly. Alright, why do I feel like I didn't go the right direction here? I'm out of the riverbed. I had turned into it, but what did I do wrong? Maybe I was supposed to follow a different riverbed? Alright, so not the best start here. This is where I came down. Oh, I just got stuck in the mud. Don't get stuck in the mud. Let's figure out where this guy's headed to. If he can get unstuck. Looks like it could be Braybeck, actually, trying to pass me here. So he's going up here, which is... Oh, okay, never mind. Duh. I'm supposed to go straight to 36.2 kilometers and then turn down the riverbed. That's what Rio means on my road book. So that's definitely like the toughest part of this game is really the navigation part of it. And while some people really don't like that because it's a very immersive and hard concept to grasp if you don't understand Dakar racing or rally racing in general, I personally really have enjoyed that aspect because it adds a whole new element to a racing game that I never really like had before, or I guess that you really had to pay attention that much to. You know, if you play a game like The Crew or any of these other kind of point-to-point racing games that exist today, you know, this really isn't something that you have to focus that much on, is the navigation part of it, because there's always a GPS. Sometimes the GPS comes uncoordinated, like in The Crew 2, for example, but it still is always there, and you still always kind of have a general idea where you're going. This one, it's literally just a piece of paper, you know, and if I switch to this, I guess it's like a little monitor on your dash, and that's all you have. I mean, that's the gist of it. It's no easy thing to do or accomplish or figure out without, you know, really immersifying yourself in the game and figuring it all out. So definitely enjoyed that. Of course, there are some glaring problems. Maybe the actual graphical implications of it aren't totally up to snuff, but I still think that they're pretty good. I wouldn't say that they're the worst graphics I've ever played with or anything, you know, crazy like that. Can they be a little bit better? Sure, but I also completely understand that this game is very massive and very intensive on, you know, game space because of how huge the maps and the gameplay area is. So I know that they had to take shortcuts somewhere, and I will always go back to the argument that everybody that compares this to a GTA 5 or a Crew 2 or so on and so forth, you know, you're talking about Ubisoft and Rockstar Games, which have tens of thousands of employees working for them, and thus have a lot of resources to be able to put out a truly fantastic and, you know, very resourcefully used video game. Whereas Big Moon Studios here, they're still kind of a startup company, and you know, I feel like for one of their original Dakar releases that they've come out here with, it's a pretty good start. And if you like Dakar racing, you should definitely support them, you know. If you don't want to, that's totally your prerogative, but I'm of the belief that these guys are you know, they belong to companies that really we should support and we should get behind, because they're making games that center around the types of racing genres that we enjoy as consumers. Obviously, some of you that watch this video are not going to be racing fans, or maybe not necessarily will be off-road racing fans, but they clicked on it anyway to see what this was about. So if you're honestly, like, I'm just telling you, if you're not a Dakar or rally fan, I would just say don't get this game. But don't write it off as an unplayable monstrosity just because you haven't picked it up. Like, you definitely should pick it up and give it a good long haul before you decide to rip into it and say it's the worst game you've ever seen, or, you know, other expletives or verbiage that you use along those lines, because this is definitely not the worst game I've ever seen. I've played far worse video games than this before. And yeah, it is what it is. You don't have to like it, you don't have to love it, but give it a chance. That's what I like to do with these games. I guess I'm always kind of pinned as like a optimist because of that, but I don't know, what's wrong with enjoying a video game like this, you know? Oh boy, this passage control zone is a long one. I guess we'll get to 75.23 kilometers and finally be out of it. Yeah, I guess we're in the 30 zone until then. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Roadbook says N30 and danger 2. And here is the end of it. And back to speed. Follow the waypoint. Such a tricky concept is the roadbook in this game, and you know, fortunately in rookie mode, so long as you understand the roadbook enough to follow the actual roads, once you get to off-track sections like this one, you have a waypoint marker pop up on your screen and direct you to that next spot. But beyond that, like, there's so many different elements to this game beyond just like trying to follow the roadbook and understand it. On the left-hand side of the screen there, you'll see a list of waypoints, and all that is waypoints that you like actually physically have to go through, and they're numbered to match with the roadbook. If the number on the waypoint marker isn't matched with the roadbook, you don't necessarily have to go through that waypoint. Obviously, it helps following the roadbook and trying to understand that a little bit better, but I think that's a pretty cool concept. Look at that step up right there. That you can kind of, you know, guide your own path and make your own ways in this game, and you don't have to AT follow the roadbook per se. It's definitely, like I said, it still helps because you can get lost super easily. I mean, right at the beginning of this video, I pretty much got lost, and here we go with the mud. Get over to this little trail here. If you caught one of my live streams, it might have been a live stream or two ago now, I got stuck deep in the mud, like bad. Really bad, and had to not only dig myself out, but I think it was Sam Sunderland that got stuck in right behind me, and then maybe it was Van Beveren. It was because it was a Yamaha, right? I forget who it was, maybe Benavides. Also got stuck, and I kept digging and trying to get Sunderland out, and I could not do it, and he just stayed stuck and lost a ton of time, and I kept going and eventually lost a crap ton of time because I was being an idiot and speeding in speed control zones. But still, I thought that's like pretty cool. Like, you have to get off your motorcycle, you have to pull out a shovel, you have to dig yourself out, and in the end you might make it, you might not. It's pretty dang intense and wild once you get stuck, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know, you don't have to love it, you don't have to agree with everything I say, but I think that those of you that stop by my video for 5 minutes and comment this game is garbage and whatever, it's like, but did you even play it? Did you even give the whole video a chance? Like I said, I guess that makes me an optimist in wanting to see these games succeed and supporting them even if they're not completely 100% the best game I've ever played. But is it really that bad to support a gaming company like this that wants to help out the community? I guess that does make me a terrible person. I don't know, but still a fun experience to see a new game hit the market like this. And I guess my hope for it is that it gets better. And if you choose to support it, I think that it has the potential to get better at some point. But of course, obviously, we'll see. So that checkpoint was the bridge. Next checkpoint is going to be a dip in the road. Well and truly up here. So we've gone about 1/7 of the distance of this stage, and it's broken up into different sections. So the total stage should be 732 kilometers. This one looks like we're probably going to go in the area of 200 kilometers for this. I guess it would be a special. We'll see if that's truly the way it is or not when we get to the finish line of this one, and then we'll continue on to the next part of the stage. So this video probably going to end up being pretty decently long, but I wanted to have another just outright video come out of me playing this game instead of live streams, because I know not everybody catches the live streams, and the videos tend to honestly grab a little bit more traction anyway, so figured grab a pretty long stage here in stage 8 of the rally and keep on rolling through here. We're up here on a ridgeline following these telephone lines. What I love about what they did with this game too is that they really tried to as closely mimic the actual 2018 Dakar rally that they could. And what I mean by that is that these stages where it's pouring rain is true to form. It was raining this hard on these stages that you play in the game during the 2018 Dakar rally. In fact, they actually had to cancel a stage because it was raining so violently, and just move forward in the rally because of how bad an area got affected by rain. So it's really just true to form that the middle stages of this race and in this game are raining as heavily as it is. Which again, like I said, I think it's pretty cool that they tried to mimic it to the best of their abilities. What I don't know for sure or really have any clue on is how accurate the actual terrains are of each stage. I'm sure to some degree they probably did a good job of mimicking the types of terrains and everything like that that you will see in each stage and each location that you come across. But, you know, I didn't race the whole race, and I personally don't know somebody who did, so I can't ask them specifically. Do you remember some of these spots that you came across on stage 8, for example? My guess, given by the fact that the kilometers are condensed in this game and not, you know, like fully the full length kilometer range, is that this actually isn't exactly what the terrain looked like, but it has to be on some level close, I would assume, to what the terrain looks like in Bolivia, in Uyuni, and what these riders actually saw. Again, I mean, that's just an assumption, but if they're gonna make it as close as they can to form with the rain falling out of the sky on some of these stages, I would have to again think that they did the best they could to match the terrain elements as well that these riders faced during this time. This is a sand trap, or a mud trap, I should say, when it's a deep one. Sometimes you just come up on these and you don't know they're there until you're going through them. If you keep an eye ahead on the road, usually you can catch when you're coming up on one. They're usually pretty easily signified by the fact that there's a split in the actual road or ground you're going across. Like the trail I'm on will suddenly just veer right and left, and then suddenly there's a big empty spot in front of you. That's usually a good sign that there's something that you shouldn't be going into right in front of you as well. Next time I come across one, I'll try to explain to you what I mean by that a little bit better. Alright, so now we're going through this riverbed to 163, and then jump out of it and go 237 degrees bearing. Splashing through the water here. Looks like we're going up this hill to our left. Yep. Ooh, rocky at the top here. Good little drop on the other side of it too. And onto this road. So we're, let's see, about 5 checkpoints from the end of this stage, and I almost just went completely off the road there. So just following this road along here. At any point, I guess I could jump off and follow the little navigation wheel at the top. When you get closer to a checkpoint, it'll kind of direct you. All right. So this is a speed control zone. It's noted by, on the road map, you'll see it says 30 kilometers per hour. I wanted to say miles per hour, but 30 kilometers per hour. So we're going to this side of the town here, exiting at the front, and then it'll be the end of the zone right about here. Looks like this could be another mud pit. Yeah, so you see how the trails kind of split off and go different directions? That's kind of its way of telling you, like, hey, follow this trail instead of going straight into the mud hole. It's not always that way. Sometimes the trail leads you right into the mud hole. But if you can catch it with your eyes and see, like, whoa, what's happening here? The line's splitting pretty violently, and there's a big dark spot, or in some cases, a big sandy spot right in front of me. Is this a speed control zone? I guess not. It's kind of weird that we're going through a town and there's not a speed control area here. All right. Heading back on the road here, going another 8 kilometers, give or take. And then we'll be hitting a pretty steady little big bump in the road. Going over some terrain here. The last stage I had, and you saw at the beginning of this video, I repaired some severe tire damage. I'd actually gotten 2 flat tires, front and rear flats, and I literally was sliding back and forth all the way to the finish of the last stage. Barely got it across the line. It was a real pain in the butt, but I did it. It's kind of a cool thing too, that you have to deal with the wear and tear that your motorcycle gets. If you crash too heavily, you could face terminal damage of the motorcycle. And that's all part of the game too. You know, the career mode really truly is the actual rally itself, and part of you know, successfully completing the career mode and winning the race is making sure your bike finishes the race with you. So definitely like some of those aspects as well. All in all, I mean, I think overall it's a pretty fun game, and I've had a decent bit of enjoyment out of it. I think once I play it over again and probably do it in like a car or something without the waypoint navigation on, it might get a little bit repetitive. But I'm looking forward to that challenge of not using waypoint helps and just having your roadbook to read off of. And in the case of having a car or a big truck or buggy, at least you have a co-driver to help navigate you, and they kind of point you in the direction you should be going and start telling you if you're going the wrong way or not. So it looks like there should be a big rock up in front of me that we're going around, and that signifies kilometer marker 196. Here is, oh, thought that was a big rock. I guess something over that direction. And then another big rock is going to be the signaling point for where we make a sharp right-hand turn. And that's going to be up here somewhere. 199.89. So we're closing up on it pretty fast here, about a kilometer away. I think I can actually see that rock in the distance. And indeed, there it is. We're going to make a sharp right-hander. Go to 343, or 41, excuse me, degrees bearing. And go this way for a good long while. So we're just going to keep going this direction until we get to 217 kilometers. We're going through some shrubbery and make another kind of semi-left-hand turn. There's another sand pit. Almost got stuck in that one. We're good. What I haven't been able to determine about these sand and mud bog pits is whether or not there's actually different levels of, you know, stickiness, I guess, to it, like different levels or degrees of ability to get stuck in the pits. Haven't quite figured out if that's, you know, something to keep an eye on in this or not. Probably is, but I've only actually gotten stuck in one, and I was going pretty slowly into it, so it kind of made sense that I would get stuck in it. Yes. Just going through all these bushes here. At least I know we're heading the right way. We're just following that waypoint. I feel like if I wasn't following the waypoint and I had that turned off and it wasn't on rookie mode, I would have been so lost by this point. We're getting there though. We're up to a couple clearings here, so we're not in as much shrubbery. And it looks like when we get near the top of this hill here is when we hit that waypoint. Right up in here, I believe. And we turn this way. Still just in the open areas, but we're coming to the finish line next, by the looks of it. 233.7 kilometers. So again, we're Oop, rocks. Jeez. Probably about 2/7, so that would be, I don't know, give or take 28% done with this stage. It's already been a pretty long video. That's okay. Oof. Gotta be careful of those kind of sudden, out of nowhere hillsides that can just pitch you out into some flat land. Definitely damages the suspension and the tires more than you really expect it to, landing on flat like that. These motorcycles are extremely heavy. I'd assume a large portion of the audiences that watch my videos are motocross fans, motocross and supercross, so you're used to having a 220 to 240 give or take pound motorcycle underneath of you, and kind of understand the dynamics of that and how much a hard hit really could damage that type of machinery. Well, in this case, the motorcycles are closer to 400 pounds underneath you, much heavier, much more, electronics and equipment on board with you. And we'll come up here to the finish line. So the possibility of damage on a hard hit becomes much higher when you have a motorcycle like that. All right, so achievement unlocked careful. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming it means I had a mistake-free stage. So we did a special, completed that. And yeah, I think, oh, now it's not raining as hard, I don't think. Still raining, definitely not as hard. Skip this part, go to the actual start. All right, whoa, okay, now we're ahead to 333. Well, I thought we were only 233. All right. So it looks like my special time was actually pretty good. Ended up about 9 minutes ahead of Matthias Wagner. Obviously, I'm trying to make up hours of time, so definitely need to kind of step it up a little bit more than just a good minute range upgrade, but I think we'll get there. So this one is going to be 342.05, and we're going to hook a right at a riverbed, not in it, but at it. And it says a danger 2. Right in here. Yeah, so there's some water right there that it doesn't want us to go into. Again, if you just drop the bike in water, like a big pile of water, terminal damage instantly, race over. So it's not as easy as it looks. Like, I've seen people on my videos already comment and say, what is this? This is boring and bullcrap and super easy, and you're just going through a wide open desert and it's really not that difficult. I mean, trust me guys, this is way harder than it looks, and if you try to play it on any other mode other than rookie, dare I say it's impossible if you don't have a good, hard, solid understanding of how the roadbook works. It's definitely very immersive that way, but it makes it far from easy, as I've seen some people comment and, dare I say, believe it to be as such. Alright, so we're making our way over this kind of hillside here. Going through some kind of rocky sections. So there's still kind of a semi-river to our left, so trying to avoid going into a water area. About to get to this waypoint and we'll hop on a road, which is right here. Here's the road. Follow this guy along for another 2,000 meters by the looks of it, and then we'll be making a pretty sharp U-turn. This is not that U-turn. Just trying not to go through the barriers there. So this is much more of a challenge here. Actually, I did already go through that checkpoint, so the next one is the town here, which is a 30km/h control zone again. And we're going left in the town all the way through it, 260.62. And clear of speed control now. Back across the river and onto this road now. 366.16. Gotta watch out for a rock. We're making a sharp right-hander to stay on a road. Looks like that's probably somewhere right in front of us here. So we're coming up to it. Actually, no, it looks like we're going up the hill first. There it is. Okay. Through that riverbed a little bit. Careful not to go into the deeper parts of the water. Damage the motorcycle some. Whoa! Hooked a little rut. 371.43. And we'll stay straight on this road, but go through the river once again. Looks like it's a danger too, so I'm assuming that there might be a mud pit of some sort coming up pretty quickly after this, or potentially some problems lie ahead. Going back and forth across the river here a little bit. 374.57, again through the river, staying on the roads. This is right here then. And then we'll get to 381.02 and get off the road. Maybe go through a little bit of a mountain range, judging by what's right in front of me and the fact that we're going to go about 49 degrees bearing, which is a little bit to our left, but not that much from the direction I was just going. Now we kind of turned away from it, but now we're looping back towards it. You can see 49 degrees is maybe a little bit more left than where I'm currently headed, and that is going to be right now that we're going to be going that way. So you see the waypoint pop up on our screen. That only happens in rookie mode, folks. Otherwise, you'd be all alone right now and gruesomely trying to figure this out on your own out here. Oh, this isn't going to be good. Come on, make it through, 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 make it through. Keep it pinned, keep it pinned. Okay, good. Big split there, we're staying far left, and another big split coming where again we'll stay far left. Then next up, a dip through a riverbed that is coming up pretty much right over this ridge by the looks of it. A dip and through a little water splash. And at 390, staying on the road, looking like we're going through the river once again, or at least some sort of water splash. Be a danger 2. There we are here. Sploosh. And another little splash down here. Now we're pretty much on this road until we get to 401. .93, and there will be another split, some shrubbery, some mountains. And we'll stay left on the path. I feel like we're making some half-decent time here on the stage. Really curious to see at the end of the stage whether or not that is truly the case or not. Let's continuing to follow this trail. We're getting pretty close to that next checkpoint, and this looks to be another special because we're already almost halfway through it. Coming down the hill, and this looks to be pretty close to what it said we would be needing to pay attention to the road a little bit better. Oh, some big mountains in front of us here. Right, here is going to be that split right there. We're staying left, and then we have kind of a danger 2 issue ahead of us where there's some cliffs involved as the road kind of does some zigging and zagging. This is not what I was speaking of. It's 408.58. There's some danger to be had. So let's see what happens when we get there. About 2 kilometers away. Approaching it right about now. Here's, yeah, getting some cliffs on either side. It's really just a matter of being kind of careful. This is a ridge here, and and we're going left. Yeah. Just pay attention to something else for a second. Looking back at the road book again. Headed to 418. Again, we're going through a little river splash in the 732 kilometer stage. We're, I guess, about halfway done with it. A little bit, probably more than halfway actually, now that I think about the math behind that. Can't maths while I'm trying to read a road book. A little bit bigger drop than I expected. Ooh, way too big of a drop right there. Oh, that rock saved me. That's what happens, man. You get going a little too fast, and before you know it, it's a bad situation. Go through the river, the other side, and we'll stay on this path again till 422. Where again, we are going to go through, well, we'll go over a bump, but there's some cliffs on either side. So I'm trying to kind of describe what I'm seeing on the road book as it comes. I could kind of give you an in-depth or like a more detailed analysis of what each thing on the road book means, but basically what I'm coming up on here is you see those little things that look like fences on either side. That's actually cliffs. And then the next one that we're coming up to at 424, it's a split in the road. We're going left, as you can see by the arrow telling us that. So left here. And then coming up next, we're going over a bump and kind of following the road to our right. So here we go, over a bump, following it to our right. Got to watch out for that rock. Again, another split coming back on. And then ahead, we'll have another split where if we go right, we avoid going in the river, but we want to go left and go through the river. So it's really just a matter of kind of understanding just anything and everything that the road book can throw at you, which is a lot. It's not cut and dry, per se, with that kind of stuff. Fortunately, when you go through a checkpoint, it'll kind of, mark it down and be like, yeah, you go through a checkpoint. Congratulations. But here we go through this split. But it's still not the easiest thing to completely understand. That's for sure. So next up, going through some kind of rock beds, a danger 2, that's what the exclamation marks are. PS and E3 I know means something. I think one of them means kind of visibility is low. But I don't really want to get too crazy with the road book until it's something that I have to utilize while playing the game. And that's what I mean by I'll utilize it a lot when I'm racing the cars at some point. Alright, so it looks like got some sunshine actually on those rocks right there. Not sure if the sun's out or what have you. Going up to the top of this hill here. Next up, we will have another split in the road where we will be going to our right. There is a bit of a soft road that goes to our left, but we're still 6 kilometers away from that there. Like I said, I feel like we're making pretty decent time here. Coming down the hill, just carrying a ton of speed. Moving our way through here ever so nicely. Be careful for some kind of random cliffs occasionally. So yeah, there is some sunbeam going on here. Alright, so that's where the road would have split off to our left. We're staying on it. And again, we'll have another split up here in about 3 kilometers. And we're staying to our right. Keeping on here. It's a tricky challenge I'm faced with here because I'm trying to make up a ton of time. Because I'm so far down in the standings after my screw up with the speed zones. But I also have to be careful and not wreck the bike, really. Ooh, some rough sections right there. It was really bumpy. .456. Ooh, that's a floater. Oh boy! Landed and just hooked. Fortunately, that wasn't a gnarlier cliff, or else that really could have been terminal damage. should be coming up to that split any second now. Looks like it's right over this guy. And yep, there goes the road to our right. We're staying left on it though. Coming down here. Big U-turn, another U-turn. And we're staying again left on the next split. Just coming up right around this rock by the looks of it. Yep, there's the split to our right, staying left. Same exact scenario, 3 kilometers from now. Some rocks to our right will appear. We'll stay left on a split that is actually coming from kind of behind us. So you'll notice that as we come up to it here. See, there it is. And yeah, here we go. Now we'll have a split to our left, or coming from our left, or we'll stay straight on. So there we go. This one looks to be, we're coming up to kind of a rocky section, and we're going to want to make a right-hand turn at a fork in the road. And here we are, right-hand turn, fork in the road. Next one, a cliff on our right as we zigzag through some rocks. Danger 2. The sun keeps kind of poking through here and there. Get some shining on me. Coming right from behind us right now. Top, zigzag through the rocks. Next one is going to be going through a dip in the road. And then kind of making a right-hander turn. That's going to be about 8 kilometers from now. That will be kilometer marker 42. And the next marker we'll hit is 43. And then we should be pretty close to the end at that point. Oh! Thought that was a bush. I just plowed into a rock though. I'm surprised that didn't damage the vehicle more. Kind of freaked me out, honestly. I was like, what the heck just happened? Game break or something? Nope, just going through a bush thinking it was a bush. It was a rock. Go, dip. Next up we have kind of a crazy fork in the road where we'll be making a pretty sharp left-hand turn. Again, still staying on a road. Damn, this road is doing some serious zigzagging. That's a sharper turn than I expected. Right, following it with another one here. Indeed it is. Alright. Where's this split in the road? Must be right here at the top. Yep, and then we're going left. And pretty much to the finish from here. Just follow this road all the way in. Get to right shy of 500 kilometers, and doing a little shortcutting there because I wasn't paying attention. So we're already about a little over 2/3 distance through this stage. So we have, I guess, one more special to go after this. I feel like I've made pretty good time in these 2 stages so far. Finish should be any second here now. Come around this corner and bam, here we are. Just in this little valley tucked away. Or was this the end of the stage? Oh yeah, stage completed. Without penalties. Okay, so. Continue on. Damn, dominated that stage. Won by 25 minutes. Leia Sands was almost an hour behind me there, so 50 minutes behind. I wonder if I passed anybody. Ooh, not quite, but only 15 minutes behind Van Beveren now, and only about 6.5 hours off the lead. Maybe. It could still happen. We'll quit and go back to here. So we have Tupiza, Belen, Fiambala, San Juan, and Cordoba left to go. So that's 121 plus 900. So about 1,500 kilometers, 1,700 kilometers, 2,400 kilometers, about 2,700 kilometers of racing left to go. And 6 hours off the lead, 13th place, but making up quite a bit of time in these last two ones. So we'll do Tupiza to Salta in the next video, but for now, finished up Uyuni Tupiza with a stage victory. Really killed it, had a pretty clean run through those couple specials, and had a good time doing it. So thanks for watching another video here on Start Your Systems Dakar 18 the game. Andrew Short, the Husqvarna Factory Racing team on rookie mode. 8 stages down and 5 left to go, and we'll finish those in another video at another time. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.